Stoplifters. Today I want to talk about a topic, but in another general idea, which is much more important than the first topic that I will present. And the first topic is a simple one, which is, give me a second, you shouldn't be scraping your shins when you are deadlifting, okay? If you are scraping your shins, it means that you're not pulling up, but you're pulling towards you, okay? And number one, it's bad form. Number two, you're wasting strength, because it does make sense to think about it, okay? If we were just to be pulling up instead of pulling in a diagonal fashion, we understand that there is less strength wasted when we are pulling completely upwards. However, if you're pulling in a diagonal fashion towards our shins and then our thighs, that means that we are wasting energy, since there is friction, okay? If you're dragging your bar across your shins, it means that you are losing energy, because you are pushing into you. You're not pushing up, you're pushing into yourself. You should be just pulling up. So the thighs and the shins, there should be contact, but it should be very slight, okay? They should be a guide, okay? The bar should be gliding over your skin. It shouldn't be scraping it, okay? Because look at this. I didn't just choose this because it was the first thing that I had in my mind. I hope that you can see my legs, but just in case I'm going to do something, okay? Look at this. This is what happens when I pull up, okay? And I just glide, okay? Do you see what happens? This is what happens when, however, I end, or actually I should have done this, when I actually pull and I scrape my shins, okay? You clearly see that this is bending, okay? If this is bending, it means that there is strength that is getting spent on trying to bend this bar, okay? Because this is soft. But understand the difference, okay? Look at this. This is gliding, this is pulling, okay? Basically scraping and bringing everything as close as possible to my shins. So that is bad form, so stop doing it and learn to pull upwards. But this isn't exactly what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about is that you should always try to learn from yourself, from other sources. Why did I brought up this example? Because a friend of mine, which I'm helping with the gym, basically sent me a picture of his shins completely scraped up. And I told me, and basically he said, you know, yeah, they're nice and scraped, I did a good job. And I told him, no, you didn't. Why did you do that? He probably didn't really watch the whole deadlift video, which I mean, it makes sense, it's very long, and also there are no timestamps, so I couldn't just blame him for that, okay? I also watch videos and I sometimes don't pay attention all the way, so I'm absolutely not mad for that, far from it. Actually, I'm really happy that he told me that, because we can correct it. So basically, I told him, well, you shouldn't do that, but he told me, yeah, but you told me to do so. And I said, wow, did I really? And I told me, but when did I tell you that? Like 2 months ago, 3 months ago? And he basically quoted an old picture that I sent him of my shins getting scraped, of which I couldn't really find the date. But basically, yeah, he told me it was at least 2 months ago. And basically I told him, well, you know, I was an idiot 2 months ago, which is the whole idea that we're ever evolving. With every spin of my narwhal, oh man, I need to quote Gurren Lagann right now. With every spin of your drill, human beings are evolving. We are never still, we're always going forward, and that is a beautiful concept. But that is just the whole representation of it. Meaning that 3 months ago, my deadlift technique was worse in my head. And it was showing on my body, in my scraped shins. However, I didn't tell him that I changed my idea. I understood why it's wrong to be scraping your shins while you deadlift. So basically he deadlifted wrong for a lot of time because of me. And yeah, I take responsibility on it. But on the other side, everybody should actually do their own research. And that is why you shouldn't just learn to deadlift from me. That is why in the video description I put 5 other video tutorials. And I'm sure that in one of them, in at least one of them, I'm sure that I also mentioned it, but at least in one of them, I'm sure in the natural hypertrophy one which I linked, he says that you shouldn't be scraping your shins. So try to learn from as many different sources as possible, okay? The least people you learn from, the more dogmatic you are on your approach, and the less you really understand, okay? Because you have rules which are completely fixated, which are good to have at the beginning, because I firmly understand that rules are there and they are made to be broken, in the sense that you should understand why those rules are there, and if they make sense, you should follow them. If they doesn't, don't follow them. For instance, let's think about, I don't know, no, that is just a myth, but I don't know, let's say that, okay, let's say that you are on a cruise, okay, you are on a ship and you're cruising around, and there is a rule which says don't throw trash in the sea, okay? When you're a kid, you don't do that. You don't need to understand why, you just don't. When you grow up and you start to understand why, basically throwing trash in the sea isn't the best idea, you decide to follow the rule, okay? And that is why it's okay to have some guidelines that you should follow, but you should also try to get as many as possible in order to see where are the gray spaces, okay? For example, in the deadlift, there are fixated rules, okay? Your bar should be on the middle of your foot, okay? You can't pull maximum weight if the bar is over your toes, because that means that you're leaning too much forward, and you cannot pull maximum weight with maximum efficiency from there. However, there are some things that are gray, okay? Your grip, if you have extremely long arms, you can allow yourself to actually don't go down completely straight from your shoulder, okay? If you have long arms, you can afford yourself to do it. I can't. I need to be as straight as possible because I need to fight for every single centimeter, okay? And once you understand what are the gray areas, what are the black areas, and what are the white areas, which in the sense that you can do whatever you want, why do I say that the grip is a gray area and not a white area? Because it does make sense, you can grip the bar wherever you want. Just because you end up in a snatch variation, for instance, which is no longer a deadlift, it is a snatch deadlift, okay? That is the only reason why I'm putting it in a gray area. You can do whatever you want with your grip, okay? Like the foot placement, again, you either go sumo or you go conventional. But it's okay, I mean, if you're okay pulling conventional like this, and you feel like you're stronger than pulling like this, then be my guest, please do it, that is a white space. So again, the more knowledge you have on a topic, the more you can understand where things actually are, and don't be so dogmatic, because you understand that if you only know one way, everything is black. And there is nothing that is, actually, everything seems black, and what is gray and what is white is just what is being presented to you, if that makes sense, okay? What I'm trying to say is that if you only understand a concept from a single person who also understood the concepts from a single person, we aren't evolving, we aren't improving the technique, okay? However, if you learn from two different people and you see that a person tells you the only way to grip the bar is double overhand, everything else is bad. And this other guy tells you, yeah, you can also grab mixed and hook grip. Now you know more stuff than the first guy, thanks to the second, and you form your own idea. You try all of the three and you feel like, okay, I pull nicely with conventional. You then come to me and I tell you, do you compete in powerlifting? You tell me no, and I tell you, why are you pulling with the mixed grip? And he tells me, because I can hold the bar better. And I told him, yeah, of course you can, because it's not rolling. However, know that there is a risk of bicep tear. Because there is. It's not big, especially for naturals, don't get me wrong, but there is. So just use straps. So you can understand how this concept for this hypothetical person changed a lot through different people teaching you the same stuff. Because we're just talking about how are you gonna grab the bar, okay? So my message is, try to learn as much as possible from as many different people as possible in order to become less dogmatic. Because if the first person never ever heard anything else and he just kept pulling double overhand for 20 years, he then came out of his cave and he saw people using straps, he will be like, all of these guys don't even know proper deadlift technique because you can only pull double overhand. he then sees somebody hook grip and says, wow, that is weird. This guy is small, but he can actually pull more weight than me. Well, no shit. If you use a double overhand grip, you most likely will be held back by your grip strength. Whereas the hook grip guy, although smaller and probably weaker, might actually be pulling more weight than you, because you are able to pull, to hold more weight in your hand thanks to the hook grip. I hope I got the message across. I don't want to repeat myself too much. See you guys in the next one.